Hello YouTube, Tim here, and these are my two latest Ottoman Turkish-style bows. Both of them are in the process of being decorated. Both of them are, I'd like to think, rather beautiful. The core of this one was 40 inches, and the core of this one was, I think, about 41 inches. I wanted to make it a tiny bit longer. And you can see in the profile, this one has the very standard characteristic deflex mid-limb, but fairly minor. And this one has a much more aggressive reflex in the Kasan area and barely a hint of a deflex. So, but also taking a look at the side profiles, this one's thicker. So the draw weight of this one is actually a tiny bit higher than this one, although the draw weight is more even throughout the pull. This one will pick up draw weight a little faster because it's so early on in the draw. There's very little tension at brace height, less tension at brace height. They probably perform fairly similarly, but at any case, they're both lovely, nice bows. I do like this, that I was able to induce that much reflex while using that little deflex. Both of them are using the poplar Sias. No, I'm sorry, not poplar Sias, the birch plywood Sias. And I used Ken Holmes' technique of mixing glue with sawdust and filling in any voids. Seems to be just fantastic. They work really well. The handles I did the same way, but with slightly different technique and results. This one I used slightly wider strips that I layered 2 or 3 strips of PVC on top of each other. And so it has a little bit more width to it, and it's a little bit rounder. On the whole, it's almost perfect. The way I had to wrap the handle was with this section here. I had 2 ovals, essentially. This one was a little bit more pointed, of leather that I then sliced down the side so I could wrap it without getting too much of a crease. This is the hardest thing when you're handling this highly shaped, contoured handle. Trying to wrap that with leather, that's absolutely the hardest thing that I'm doing. On this one, I tried to keep it even thinner, and as you can tell, I succeeded. This one's extremely thin. This one is almost 100% perfect. I think next time I would make it a touch higher and have a little bit lower in the extreme portions. But it's very nice, feels great in the hand. And this was the first one that I've tried to not go all the way around on. I could have cut it straight. I think next time I will. That would look nice too. But in stretching it, this is just what you get. In this one, there was a little bit more contour and texture to the handle beneath it. And so you can see every single little bump and imperfection through it. I'd like to perfect these methods and get better at it. On the other hand, take a look at the rear here. I used the very short cover up here. This was like the Galan bow. Used a very short pad in the back. I don't know, that's always there in the Turkish-style bows. And then on this one I used a much longer one that covers the entire length of the Kasan on the rear portion. So there it is. These are the two bows. This one's going to be decorated with a phrase from, I think, the Kultigan Stele, a stone monument in Mongolia inscribed in Göktürk runes. It'll look very cool. I have some nice gold paint, and I'm going to put it up one limb and down the other. This one I'm starting to decorate for another fellow, and it's essentially going to be the same thing, just without runes. I'm going to add a little design here mid-limb and a little embellishment in the handle and Kasan sections here. Very nice. So far, I love this red paint. I'll have another discussion another day where I talk about exactly what I'm doing to get this nice, rich color, and it's a non-tacky, great feel. I really like it. So definitely check back. I will update you guys on how I'm doing every single part of it. I think the transitions here, this was without cutting. That's pretty darn close to ideal. That's pretty good. The technique is getting better with each bow. So every time I'm doing this, I'm getting a little bit better at it. Oh, and one final thing. This one is the first one that I had cut little leather patches to put on the outside of the knock. So that's the only other difference. It's also trimmed in gold on the outside, and that's really all there is to it. Thank you for watching. I hope this is interesting. I'll show you updates as I progress and do more. Thanks for watching, YouTube.